is finally here in the Alps. These days were filmed at the very end of April, just as we were moving into May. Spring always arrives a little later here in the mountains, and nature was only just beginning to wake up. The daffodils had finally started to bloom, the bees were back, and everything suddenly felt alive again. I just finished a restaurant order, so I found myself in a quieter season of work, catching up on some admin, spending time outdoors, and slowly settling back into the rhythm of my studio. Do you guys like my new mug? Look how gorgeous it is. It's so stunning. I was just about to say that I'm gonna pick some daffodils, mainly because I wasn't planning on cutting them. I started noticing that all of the snails are chewing on my little daffodil dream, and I'm not having it. The funny thing is, all of the flowers are growing right next to my compost, and I don't know, I just find it funny that now all of a sudden they are eating up my daffodils. And I think they can feed themselves with whatever we throw on the compost. And yeah, all of that to say, I'm gonna cut some daffodils now. Look at them. Aren't they so cute? Aren't these the cutest thing you have seen in a while? Come on, they are so darling. So dainty, and they smell heavenly. They have a subtle sweet smell to them. Sort of like honey. Obviously I'm gonna have to cut them. But I think it's slightly giving cottagecore, doesn't it? But in a cute way.
%100% cotton, so an amazing find. It's very good quality, it's in a good state, and it has this classic bomber cut that I
Good morning, you guys. I just spent a ridiculously long amount of time figuring out what the right setup is. I moved you guys a bunch of places, but I couldn't find the right spot to film. So for now, this is the little corner of my studio we will be using. Today's Tuesday, yesterday was Monday. That's usually how the week goes. Yesterday was Monday, today's Tuesday. I'm incredibly sleepy and tired today. I had a really rough night last night. I was plagued by a bunch of nightmares and restless, sleepless hours. That's why I poured myself another black tea, and I expected the Earl Grey I just drank, I expected him to do wonders for me, but it wasn't doing anything. This time we are drinking a Darjeeling. Earl Grey is my favourite, if you care to know. For me it's Earl Grey, English breakfast, and then Darjeeling. So I'm pretty sure I won't like this, but what can you do? This is really like riveting content, you guys. I'm a little bit afraid that this could go terribly wrong. Oh, and it didn't. I feel like the tea to milk ratio might be off. Because it now looks like a jar of milk. Taste test. Yeah, Just tastes like milk. Cool. Yeah, what else? I wrote myself a to-do list. Hold on, let me grab that actually. I got myself a little, do you guys like my outfit? I'm wearing this vintage Lara folk something, Austrian folk blouse. It has super puffy sleeves, which I adore. Some beautiful lace detailing, you probably can't tell from the distance. And my... You guys, I would be a terrible fashion influencer. My red Birkies, I love these. These are my studio shoes and they fit today's outfit perfectly. So yeah, where was I? Got myself a little calendar. Yes, it is ironic that we are almost at the end of April and I'm now starting to use my calendar that I bought in January. But you know, basically I want to do a bunch of all of the remaining admin work I have to do, which is I want to plan out all of my content. The thing with me is my Instagram game is incredibly lacking at the moment, so I want to work on that. The problem is I don't really see social media content as part of my work. Which is ironic because I still don't have a website, so like what am I assuming of my potential clients, that they're just gonna find me out of nowhere basically, or I'm working on that. It's a constant struggle but we shall see. I guess the main thing I can do about it is convince myself that yes, it is part of your work. Yes, it's not necessarily creating new products and sitting on the wheel and throwing. That's, for me as a potter, I'm a ceramicist, for me this is like throwing on the wheel is basically my work and being productive. So in my brain, in my head, content creation and posting on Instagram or what have you isn't necessarily work, but yes it is because I'm self-employed. I guess it's just a matter of making time for it, the content planning and content creation, and seeing it as part of my work. Okay, enough of me rambling, what else? I think today is a sort of mindless admin day, so yeah, that's that. I'm officially signing off for today. Surprisingly, although I was so tired, I was actually able to achieve quite a few things. So I gotta pat myself on the back for that. I was actually able to tick off all of the things I've been meaning to do today off my to-do list, so that's great. Yeah, I think the plan for tonight is to just cook dinner. I'm starving. I'm really, really hungry. And yeah, I'm gonna wind down, relax. I also really, really need to shower. I should wash my hair. And yeah, I guess I will talk to you guys tomorrow. And that's that. Bye. Hi, hello. Hold on. Let me close that window. Okay, if you hear some noise from outside, it's just my neighbor doing some work with his tractor, I guess. I had to move you guys over here because I was too afraid that my neighbor with his noisy tractor was making too much noise. I feel like as a viewer, at this point you might say, well, all she ever does is admin work and sit in front of her laptop, and I don't even have a laptop. We are still operating from a very old iPad. I usually work in phases. That means that I will throw for weeks, or more like I throw for weeks, then I trim for weeks, then I usually squeeze in some admin work again, then I spend a lot of time glazing all of the things, usually up to 2 weeks, so I'm usually locked into my glazing room for about 2 weeks, and then the entire cycle starts all over again. I fear it might not be too exciting at this point, but nevertheless I want to wrap it up, I guess. I feel like I'm overheating in this. It was absolutely not necessary to throw on this alpaca wool vest today. I'm just refusing to accept the fact that there will be summer soon. It's just a constant struggle with me, guys. I don't know, I feel like that's like the story of my life. Spring is always too short for me, and there's never like a smooth transition in between the seasons. It's like we have spring for like 2 weeks and then boom, it's summer. It's hot. And unfortunately, I can't stand the heat. So we will be continuing a bunch of admin work today. Wow. Exciting. If you clicked on this video expecting me to throw a bunch of things and being ultra productive on the wheel, I'm sorry to disappoint you. This is not the vlog for you. But there will be more productive wheel throwing times soon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop waffling now and get on with work. I might check in later with you guys if I have something interesting to tell. And yeah, that's that.